they wouldn't leave me any flowers. What about stopping for a drink or perhaps a cup of tea?
No, it's a temptation, Mr. Ransom. They would expect to be back at the hospital.
In other words, one of my patients has simply made up his mind to die. Miss McDade isn't there every hour she can spare. Out of the 24 she already will.
Very well, but next time I won't take no for an answer.
I'll hold you to that. Try and persuade Major Scrappy to take some rest.
There goes a great and good woman.
No one quite like her.
And there's one of the mysteries of India I'll never be able to understand. What's that? That stringless quartet over there. They never seem to listen or to say anything. But I know perfectly well that by tomorrow morning my innermost secret is a common thought of Ranchipur.
And of course you have nothing to hide.
Anything, Sergeant?
Yes, ma'am. No, I think I better. I may have to operate this Sergeant.
Oh, just a drop. Steadies the hands, weak women.
Then there's a conference with the Maharaja at the palace.
In this heat, Major, your energy appalls.
It's hot. It'll be 109 in the shade. Aren't you ever going to finish it?
Is there any hurry?
You haven't had a stroke since the last time I was here.
Oh, stop. You're making me perspire.
Well, the rain would only come.
They were praying at the temple as I drove by this morning. I was half a mind to join them.
In prayer? I didn't know you had faith in anything, Tom.
Oh, now that's where you're wrong. I've got faith in a lot of things. For instance, Well, for instance, Queen Victoria.
That old statue.
To you, she's only a statue. But to me, she's an old friend. A living reminder of the fine, brave days before the world went to sea. When London Bridge did its fall into a dance club, not to the threat of tomorrow's bombs. When every American was a millionaire, or about to be one. And people sang in Vienna. There she stands in her cast-iron petticoat, unconcerned about wars, dictators, and appeasement, as serene as ever. God bless her.
The world is not as bad as you think, Tom.
No. Only trying to commit suicide as fast as it knows how.
I don't agree with you. Here in Ranchipur, we're trying to make it a little better.
Oh, well?
Our world. India in general, Ranchipur in particular.
Well, rather like the old place, just as it is.
You see it as an artist. I see it as an Indian. My people are crying for help. After centuries of disease and poverty and superstition.
The American girl and her mother from the mission. They're not stopping here, are they?
Mother, please don't. I'll die if you do.
Don't be silly.
If you wanted to know us, you'd call before this.
Hold the reins. Is the Honorable Mr. Ransom in?
I doubt this.
Please. Mr. Ransom, do forgive me for intruding. I'm so anxious to have you come to a little garden party I'm giving this afternoon for Lily Huggett Edinburgh and some of the nicer English people.
Well, Major and I planned some tennis for this afternoon, and,
Oh, well, I'm sure that Mr. Satsy won't mind giving up his tennis just this morning.
I'm afraid that's for Mr. Ransom to decide.
There, you see, it's all settled. 5 o'clock for tea. We'll be looking for you.
now, why did I say I'd go?
You didn't. She did.
So nice to see you, Lily. Thank you, my dear. Oh, you know Major Credit and Mrs. Palmer, of course. Mrs. Huggett Edinburgh. How do you do? Lily, Tom Ransom is dropping in later. Tom Ransom. Oh, my dear, what a catch for you. My dear, a real put-us-out, and one of the very best county families in all England. But being an American, of course, that means nothing to me. No, of course not. Oh, how you do. Well, this is a surprise. How do you do?
Fine, thank you.
How nice to hear you. we should do something about that dreadful Smiley woman.
Yes, dear.
Look at her. She just does it to annoy me.
Does what, dear?
Sits there and looks so, so Middle West in front of my guests. I wish you'd do something about it.
What can I do, dear?
Well, you're head of this mission, aren't you?
Yes, but it's her veranda, my dear.
Here comes Mr. Ransom. Hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Aunt Phoebe. How do you keep so cool in this infernal heat?
No harder than I awake in good corn weather. All dressed up fit to kill. Where you going?
Across the way?
Are you going over?
No, sirree. We've got a gentleman's agreement. She keeps her nose out of the mission school, and I don't have to go to her party.
You might call it an armed truce.
Oh, you home?
Hello, Tom. No, darling.
No. What do you think you are, a 2-year-old? Working after hours in this heat. My husband's a fool.
No, not Ma. You know what it says in Scripture about calling people fools. I had to keep one of my pupils there after school. He's been throwing spitballs. You'll be staying to tea, of course.
Oh, he can't. He's going to the party. Oh, better hurry up, Tom. Mrs. Simon will be climbing that hedge after you.
Here I go.
So glad you could come. It's my last day this season. We'll be leaving for Simla before the rains. You'll be going to, of course? Naturally. No one stays in Ranchapur during the monsoon.
No, only about 5 million people.
You know what I mean. Talk of people. The kind of people one knows. It's so seldom out here one meets anyone from one of the real county families. Of course, you've heard the Eskers have just arrived.
The Eskers?
Lord Eskers. The Lord Eskers. Oh, Bert!
I'm coming.
Oh, there you are. Mr. Ransom's here. Put some powder in your nose. Keeps melting off.
Do you think he'd marry me? You're on the wrong track.
Why, how dare you insinuate that I...
All right. That's all right, dear.
Okie doke, I'm ready. Okie doke. I don't know why you would pick up all this American slang. Mr. Ransom. Mr. Ransom, this is our little girl. Our little daughter, sir.
How do you do?
I've wanted so much for you two to know each other. May I get you a drink?
Oh, you're very kind.
I'll send over the boy. You know what Mother means by drink, don't you?
I beg your pardon?
Lemonade.
Oh,
Wouldn't you like something a little stronger?
I see that my reputation has preceded me.
Father keeps a little brandy in case of snake bites and things.
These snakes have been a bit trying this afternoon.
I'll get some for you.
I think your mother would mind very much if we...
Mother, she wouldn't mind.
The water, please. Oh, I hope I'm not keeping you from your guests.
Oh, they're not my gift. That's Mother's idea of high society. They're all excited because you're here.
Really? Should I be flattered?
They say dreadful things about you.
What sort of things?
That you're a drunkard and a bounder and a remittance man. They'll hang around you just the same because your father was an earl. I shouldn't be talking like this.
Why not? I don't mind.
I don't care what they say about you. Because I know what you're really like. I've watched you from my window every time you've come to the Smileys. Sometimes I think you're the only person in Ranchapur I don't hate. You see, Mr. Ransom, I've wanted to know you for a long time, but not this way. Not with Mother throwing at your head.
No, my dear child.
Oh, I'm not a child. I'm over 18. I'm a woman. I need your help. I'm in trouble.
Trouble.
Yes, oh, it's so hard to tell you.
No, it needn't be. I understand.
to come to you. You see,
Perhaps I can help you. Is there a man mixed up in it?
No. Except you. Oh, Mr. Ransom, I've got to get away from here. I can't stand it any longer.
What's the matter?
Well, they want to run my life for me. They want me to go on living this phony life they think is so wonderful. And while they're pretending we're not just missionaries. You will help me, won't you?
Oh, what could I do?
You know all about the world and women and things like that.
Oh, well, if it's advice you want.
Oh, no, I need more than advice. I haven't any money.
Well, I couldn't do that.
Well, I only need a little. Just enough to get me to where I want to go. I'll pay you back. Honestly, every cent.
Isn't the money my child?
I told you I'm not a child.
Look here, I can't be directly responsible for what might happen to you. Don't you realize the awkward position you might put me in?
You think you cared about respectability.
I don't.
Well, neither do I. I just want everything there is to be had out of life.
Well, that's all very well, but it's not that easy.
I'm not looking for things to be easy. I just can't stand it here any longer. I've got to get away.
Where would you go?
On the stage?
On the stage?
Well, why not? I'm not bad looking. And I have very nice legs.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Miss Simon and I, we were just talking about the theater.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's a messenger here from the palace.
Oh, yes?
From Her Highness, Ransom Tsar.
I'm afraid I'll have to leave you to light the party if I'm going to be on time.
Oh, my dear boy, that's quite all right. I understand perfectly. When the palace calls, we must drop everything and obey.
Oh, well, you better come.
Charming, isn't it?
I think it was a mistake inviting him. Everyone knows his reputation with women.
And rum.
Don't be provincial. Do you ever get us invited to the palace? Do you?
Good evening, Your Highness.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm glad you could come.
To see you again is one of the few thrills left in life, Your Highness.
You said that as if you meant it.
I do mean it.
Come along. I'll introduce to you our guests of honor. Lady Edwina.
Hello, Edwina.
Why, Tom. We heard of a person named Ransom living in Ranchipur. But I never dreamed it was you. How nice that you know each other.
Oh, yes. We're old friends.
Albert,
Yes?
Tom Ransom, you heard me speak of him. My husband.
It is Ransom, of course. How do you do?
Your Highness, I've just been telling Mr. Bollinger.
Allergy.
When I first visited India, I was amazed to find that you people had so many of the modern conveniences. Yes, and the blessings of civilization.
We flatter ourselves to be jolly well abreast of the time.
Your Highness, dinner is served.
Shall we go?
Now that you've met one of your own kind, I suppose you'll be grand for days.
Why do you always make a point of criticizing men like Tom Ransom because he happens to be a gentleman?
If he's a gentleman, why is he living here in India? Got plenty of money?
I don't imagine Tom's ever thought of money one way or another in all his life.
One of those radicals, huh?
Nothing like Myrna.
go is one of the most expensive figures in the British Empire.
General, for years I've been telling you never to drop to an inside state.
Your Highness, would you mind if I showed her the esque of the Tyrone?
Of course not. Need a guide?
No, thanks. I know my way about.
Good luck.
Your Highness, my apologies for being late. You received my message?
Was it thorough?
No, just old-fashioned calling.
Good. Get at the game. I need some competition.
No, look here, Your Highness. Your Highness, I'm willing to pay £5,000, £10,000 for that chestnut stallion and 2 mares.
It is a generous offer, but Azoka is not for sale.
Oh, come now. Anything's for sale if the offer's high enough.
I'm afraid you don't understand.
Your Highness drives a hard bargain. I mean to have that stallion. Name your price and I'll meet it, whatever it is.
It is not a question of price, Doris. You have seen other horses in my stables, almost as perfect as Azoka. Now, please let me make you a gift of a stallion and 2 mares.
Gift? Well, if Your Highness really means it, you're very kind.
You understand, of course, I cannot ship them during the heat.
Of course. Thank you.
That's a Rembrandt. That's a Buddhist prayer wheel. On that, I suspect, was bought from a street peddler in Lakewood. And this was bagged by the old lady herself. And on foot, too. That means nothing to you.
Frankly, it doesn't. Like there.
Yeah, it's beginning to look like rain at last.
You haven't told me what you're doing here.
Oh, I came out here 7 years ago to paint the Maharaja's portrait. Been here ever since.
Not a very exciting life, is it?
No. It's yours.
Now and then.
What brought you all the way up here to Rancho?
The Maharaja's horses. Albert's very fond of horses. The only thing he is fond of except money.
Have you become fond of money, too?
Passionately.
Used to be just excitement.
Can't live on excitement alone. We found that out tonight.
I didn't mind.
I did. I minded washing my own stockings, going without breakfast, and only being able to afford the hairdresser once a week.
No, perhaps I was selfish. But there was a time, mind you, and I hope you won't blush, when I seriously thought of marrying you.
Why, Tom, how touching. I never suspected.
Well, we've come a long way since then. A long way apart.
What do you mean?
You'd know if you'd lived here a while. See, in Ranchipur, the important things in life are the elemental things, such as crops, starvation, and weather. In Europe, when someone says it looks like rain, in all probability he's trying to make polite conversation. But here, when people die as easy as they're born, they're speaking in terms of life and death. You'll see what I mean if you're still here when the rains come. You'll see them overnight. From the fields, the gardens, and the jungles. From a parched and burning desert into a massive green that seems to live. To ride and to devour the walls, the trees, and the houses. Well, I hope I'm not keeping you up.
Tom, you've changed. You didn't used to be such a windbag.
You haven't changed.
Haven't I?
No. You're still a lovely creature.
Am I?
It's exciting seeing you again.
May I have a cigarette? So you've forgotten.
Sorry. Well, I was right. Here it comes.
Your Highness, any idea where they've gone?
I'm afraid it's a big palace, that they might be anywhere.
Your husband's been looking for you, Lady Essex. I think he wants to go home.